Hello and welcome to Dance Bants. I'm your host, and who am I? I'm an Olympic sprinter, and today I'm here with Alice Robinson. Alice was born in Bundaberg, Queensland, and moved to Sydney to study contemporary dance full-time. She is now both a performer and movement director, and her immersive production Does It Matter in the Dark sold out to London audiences last year. She has also worked with Opera Australia, BBC's The Greatest Dancer, The Dream Dance Company, So You Think, Company Jinx, Emma Portner, and Larissa McGowan. Please welcome Alice Robinson.
Hello.
Hello. Where are we, Alice?
I think we'll be in RuPaul's Drag Race's workroom, if you can find that.
Cool. What's your bleep?
See ya.
All right, Battle of the Bickies. Today on the show, we're going to pretend that these are blue because I asked my dad to go out and get the blue box and he reckons he's colorblind. So these are regular TV snacks versus Monty's, which is, I believe, a really hard competition because pretty much TV snacks are just Monty's in small shapes.
Really? I've never had them.
I think. You've never had Monty's?
I've never had a Monty. So is this a fair judgment?
Ooh.
I'd say TV snacks. So
all right.
Just out of
TV snacks are going to the grand finale. 3 big questions. What do you reckon?
I reckon that you can do anything you want.
Yes.
If you want it, you can do it. For real.
Yeah.
But I think we get in our own way. I think there's a lot of self-sabatage.
You do anything you want, hey?
Yeah, and they've released it, the law of attraction is real.
They've released it?
The CIA, will put out a statement. I'm pretty sure it's CIA. Law of attraction is real. And manifestation is real.
Wow.
People, I don't know, people know it, but because you can't see it, people don't. It's like everything. It's like religion,
right.
COVID. If people don't have it really affect them, they don't think it's real.
Question 2. Have you ever shat yourself?
Yes.
You can expand or you cannot expand. It's up to you.
I'll expand, but I don't know if I want it.
Are you afraid of dying?
Yeah. I think the older I get, the more I understand that things have to go in a flow state. You live and you die, and that's how the world is. But it sounds so weird, but I don't want to just go without leave a mark, essentially, without having to say leave a mark. I think you have people in your life and you're if they weren't here anymore, it would really affect me. And not in a sad way, but they've been a big part of my life. So I'm I just want to connect with as many people on deep levels as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all we have is communication with each other and ourselves, I guess.
Yeah, nah. Have you ever stolen something?
Yeah.
Can you play a musical instrument?
Nah.
Can you speak another language?
Nah.
Do you have an enemy?
Nah.
Can you sing?
Nah.
Ballet or jazz?
Ballet.
Wiggles or high five?
Wiggles. Always wiggles.
Kick, turn, jump or jazz, funk, hip hop?
Kick, turn, jump.
Splendor in the Grass or Carols in the Domain?
I've been to neither, so I'm going to say Carols.
Still or sparkling?
Recently sparkling.
Yeah, me too. Sparkles.
Recently though.
Why do you think the contemporary company scene and the commercial contemporary scene, if you want to call it that, don't seem to connect so much or know anything about each other?
The contemporary really company world, I feel they kind of stay in their lane and they don't really like the outside glitz and glam of the commercial world and selling it and all those kind of things. They like to just stay to their process and their concepts, and I think it's quite old school and backwards to think like that. It's we have got this different platform of mixing different genres and meeting more people, and that's been my goal forever, is to break down that wall between the commercial world and the contemporary world, which I think I somehow was doing.
You fully do that, but it can't be done by one person alone, which is the ish.
Yeah, commercial world thing I'm really contemporary, and the contemporary world thing I'm really commercial, and it's instead of using that as I don't fit into any box, which I never really have. It's being okay, well, I have certain people in this industry that I really know really well, and so why don't I just try and make work that caters to both, and then if I put on a show, I would then bring in an audience that was contemporary as well as a commercial audience.
Yeah.
So then maybe they'd mix in the foyer over a red wine. I respect the commercial world, and I also respect the contemporary world. So it's I think a lot of people are really quick to shut the door on other things they don't understand, which is like a human thing. Like as soon as we don't understand it, we go, oh, no. I think that's just something that I've always tried to be open with, like different industries, and like hopefully that will then make like a flow state between both. But it's a continued goal.
How can we make this happen more? I
think having conversations with people. I think like if you're hanging out with like a really contemporary person, like show them a piece from like a more commercial contemporary artist, and making people understand that like just because you're in the commercial world doesn't mean that you like want to sell out and want to like, I think people have beliefs of different industries, and I'm like, that's not true. Like it's just a lack of knowledge and lack of awareness, and therefore like a shutdown and a disregard, and like it's just ignorance, to be honest.
What are your dreams and goals?
At the moment I'm reimagining life, and obviously with like what the world is in right now, trying to understand like dancers don't give dancers money, and where is the money coming from that I can like do what I want and also like live a sustained, stable life, which has never been me. But I'm just trying to figure out where the money's at right now. Like, okay, money is with like businesses and like corporations, and like how can they have budgets for certain things, and how can I be a part of like that trickle on effect and like do what I want on a platform that like can receive money for giving my perspective. And like being overseas for 2 years as well, like hustling, did a show over there, and I really liked creating, and like in that state of creating, I'm like, yo, this is it. Like I really love that studio time. Like people always say the process is like the thing, but like genuinely after doing the shows and then thinking back to like the 3 or 4 months that we worked on it, like the process was the shit. Like I was like, those like times that we went into rehearsals was like, that was the show.
The show is that.
Yeah, it's not even anything.
And like that's the power of now.
Yeah.
You read that?
No. I was in isolation in London. I did like a month, I think, over there, and like 3 weeks of it by myself in like this huge house, which was kind of crazy. And I was like really enjoying my time and my company. And like it's really weird to say because I'm an extrovert and I'm always bouncing around and like seeing people and doing things, and like that's how I get a lot of my energy. But being at home and being around myself and noticing the way that I do things, and like I was like, yo, like I actually like myself. Like I like who I am, and I like how I react, and I like what I think. And that was really like, it was a different process. I was like, whoa, cool. But I think that's also like a big thing at the minute. I'm seeing a lot with like dancers, and like I think it happens with every industry, but I think specifically with dance, we like, because every time we do something, it's like we are bringing ourselves to it. So say you work as like a accountant or whatever, you like are doing your work, and like that's separate of you. So when you're being like critiqued on your work, it's like actually your work, like what you've interpreted from the data or what you're doing from whatever. But with dance, we're bringing ourselves to audition. We're like selling ourselves. So if someone doesn't like what we do, it's almost like they don't like us. So it's like we need to like learn to disassociate from our personal and work life. And I think like since moving to London, I got thrown in the deep end and like not drowned. So it was like, who are you without dance, and are you happy with that? Dance should enhance your life, right? So it's like you should be whole as yourself without dance or without whatever you do, and then when dance is added, you should then be enhanced, as opposed to putting a lot of strain on it, which we put on financial burden, we put creative burden on it, and then we expect it to give us life. Like what I'm doing in my general day-to-day life, what I think, who my friends are, who's around me, all of these things, and like what you do for work. If that is dance as well, then you have to like really play that game. But know that the outside dance is like enhancing you. I don't know, that's like a freelance perspective, and I think it's like that is longevity. That's not an array of mental health issues. That's not an artist struggle spiral. Like we need to be active people in society with like mental health, and if we are putting a strain on like passion to give us all these things, it's like of course it's going to like cause us like detriment, like of course. So that's like I've been trying to be really like whole without dance.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm there, but I feel
that's
happy.
I'm
happy.
so there for all of that.
Yeah, that was a huge rant, mate.
And actually a little thought, this is like
hit me.
Potential future, right? Like if everybody thought like that, which would mean that everyone was living a very rich and full life with a lot of different kind of people in their lives, well, the society or the web of dancers would naturally mingle more with the other art forms and the other regular society members to make dance a bigger interest in general, which would then lead to further work opportunities.
You're completely right. Whoa. I think that's really perfect because I think like not having all dance friends is like the best thing I've ever done in my life. I think like leaving full time, you're just so enhanced and like everyone's like in the hustle and you're like, oh my God, started from the bottom, let's get there, like kind of vibe. And then you just like remain in your dance circle. And I think I have so many mates outside dance and it's like, so see ya, cool, because like you don't need to speak about dance all the time. You don't need to put that pressure on it. And like also like if there's a job going around and they work at like a law thing in marketing, they'll be like, oh, we need like a dancer of this thing, neck minute 10 grand. Like do you know what I mean? Like it's just like you need to expand your circle, but that also means that you need to like realize that you are whole without it, and it's just like the thing you do and the thing that influences you. And it's a big part of my life. I'm not going to discredit it. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to feel like I'm like,
no, it's a bit like a relationship. True. Like in the way that you have to be satisfied with who you are and love yourself before someone else can love you. By the way, I love the way that you're now like,
I'm so aware of it because you were so coming for me before. it's really not. It's a little. It doesn't loosen up. Hey. Anyway, fully though, it's like this thing. Have you heard of this thing? You haven't heard of it? Okay, so 2 people here, right? Moving along. This is like going towards a shared goal. This is like relationship, but you can think of you and your dance if you want. You and staring at my nails is amazing.
I want to.
Like you and dance or you and a person. It's like you're moving towards a shared goal, but your eyes are like on the future. So you're like side by side. But if one person is like, they're invested too much in this thing, it's like they tried to move forward and this person's like, no. And then that is like really dangerous because you're not moving anyway. You're just like obsessed with each other. And then like, what was the other one? Like that. So like you want to like have the same shared goal, but know that you're separate, but moving together. That's like they say in relationships, like the goal to be like on the same path, but not like obsessed. It's like life's moving on. There's bills to pay. There's groceries to get. There's housemates to find. There's things to do in life. You can't just be like.
And along with all the grand benefits of living a holistic life, you get the relativity. Nobody really cares.
Yeah, but like nothing's the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like your work is not the be all and this is not the be all. Your parents aren't the be all and end all. Your dog isn't, like there's nothing that is the thing. It's like balance is like everything, and knowing that you are full without all of those things in your life. And it's something that I still am trying out. Like I'm not perfect, but I'm like at least aware.
What do you think is cool about the Australian dance scene? From the perspective of someone who's just been in London for a long time.
Like the scene I was in before moving, the worlds do intermix a little bit more, or maybe I just intermix more, but I found like people did start to appreciate different styles. It wasn't as much like bite. I don't know if there's biting happening now, but people weren't like taking, they were just appreciating at that point. The training here is amazing, like amazing. I do like the Australian dance scene. I feel like I've never really had an issue with it though, because I've always known like, cool, this is my place. I'm not that dancer who's going to have the agent and be like on X Factor. That's just not me. And once I accepted that and found my own thing, like that's where I moved on to. Do you know what I mean? Like I think you have to understand what you want as well, which is then what the industry will give back to you.
I feel like you're not even like listening.
Whoa, okay.
That's in a really good way.
Kind. Yeah, that's really kind.
Like you don't really see with like what you should be doing or what's weird, or
because
like,
who says what's good? Who says what's good? Who says what's success in the industry? Like booking a job, dancing behind an artist, is that success? Because if that's success, then I don't want that. We get taught, like I think it's the whole like the full time into the thing, like what the goal is of a job, and if you don't reach that, then you're nothing. Which is also in your head. Like I heard that story.
You got that? No. Do you feel like people told you that? Because you did a couple different full-time schools, so you had different experience.
I was like 17. Like I was a fetus. We're talking like Bundaberg 17. So like everything I heard was like gospel. So I was very like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And after my first year, I was like, what do I actually want to do? Like, what is being a dancer? And I wasn't a standout in the year. I was like one of the ones that if they ever looked at, they'd be like, she wouldn't be a dancer. Like I was nothing. There was a pressure. There is a pressure because it's like there's 5 jobs and there's 1,500 amazing dancers. So it's like you can either like all sit in line and wait for that one job a year, or you can like figure out what you want and push for it. But that takes like another skill. That's not just being a dancer.
Talk more about this 5 jobs thing. You have to work hard because only 2 of you are going to make it kind of thing. And I totally disagree with that. Like, why would you want that to be the message that gets through to them?
They want them to work hard
every day.
They want them to work hard. I think that's like where it comes from, and it's like that tough love. I don't agree with it, but I'm like, it's that like fight for the top. Like cream will rise, like the cream of the crop. Like they're like wanting like people to like really want the dance life.
But like,
it's a hard life.
What about like telling them that everyone here has value and that everyone here could create something or start something new or like build and enrich the scene instead of two people actually making it as they said would happen, and then literally everyone else quitting and dance becoming something we can't talk about.
Okay.
That's all that advice does.
Yeah, completely. I agree. It's not a holistic way of training people. It's like a really hard line. It's not human. Yeah, it's not whole. It's not like you need to be a whole human in order to work. Like you do. You need to know how, like dances, you're not working all the time. Like there's downtime. So how are you going to deal with that downtime? Dance is a hard career, so I need to drill it into you now that if you don't want it, then you need to leave, kind of thing. I think it does dishearten a lot of people who aren't already 100% set on dance. I remember actually in full time, I like was like crying. We were all like sitting around asking one of our teachers, and like they just kept on speaking about how hard dance was and how no one gets work, and they were like full what you're saying, like going in on us. And I was like this tiny little thing who like was not even good, and I was just like crying. Everyone was crying, and I like said to my teacher, I was like, but is it worth it? And she's like, didn't know how to answer. She was like, I've just like put off uni for 2 years to do this thing, and now you're telling me that it's like too hard and no one will. I'm like, but is it worth, like if you can tell me it's worth it, I'll continue, and you're my mentor, so you should be able to give me some perspective. But it was just such a hard, like that was a hard time. Again, like if there's only 2 jobs, like why not create more jobs? So why is that perspective on there's only 2, so shut everything else down? It's like, that's not a really like innovative way to think. There isn't that. It's just like that old school, like commercial work, musical theater work. But that's a new age. It all comes with this new age. It all comes with 2020 life. This all comes with uncovering different ways to do things, more innovation, not the same like don't follow the same road we've all been following for the last 50 years. Like it doesn't work anymore. Like there's a new way of thinking. We need to think around the box. Like what's other ways to make money? What's other ways to be successful? What's other ways to innovate? Like that's what this new age is about. And I think it's going to hit every different facet of every industry, and specifically the arts. Like we're going to need to figure out where to go from here, especially with training. It's just sad. I think a lot of people get a lot of years. There's 1 or 2 that continue because like, so I think with like the training, because we're told that you'll only make it as those 2 people, those 5 people who get jobs. You have to make your whole life dance in order to be one of those working dancers. So therefore there's that pressure that if you want to make it, you have to make your whole life it, which means you don't hang out with friends, you don't have friends outside dance, you don't like get into relationships, you don't like travel without dance. So all of a sudden your like a whole life is just dance, which is why there's identity issues later, there's mental health issues later, there's like all these things, because dance isn't 9 to 5, it isn't all the time. So of course when you have your downtime, you don't have anything to like rely on or anything to identify with.
I was gonna ask you if you could tell the story of a man that used a really unique pickup line on you.
I'm dead. Okay, so I was in Vienna and I was like by myself and sitting at this like, they had this like simulated surf thing happening. And I was like walking around summer like 2016, like stood up to this thing, like grabbed a drink by myself, whatever. And this guy comes over and I'm like, oh God, like number one, like female traveling by herself. I think I was 20, like really young. He comes over, I'm like, oh, how am I getting out of this? Sits down next to me and he's like, hey, I'm like, hi. And he's like, so, you know who you look like? And I was like, who? Thinking like, I don't know. I've gotten like some like people before and I was like, oh, I was just going to say someone like that, like one of the celebrities or something. And he was like, Marie Antoinette. And I was like, and I'm like trying to think of like which person in history this was. I'm like looking through it, like all the art galleries I've ever been to, like who is this? Anyway, I was like, oh, thanks. Like really awkward. And I was like, gotta go. Got out of there. Straight away Googled and I was like, you're kidding. Also can kind of see the resemblance. I'm super white and like I have my hair up and like, why? That's so embarrassing, but yeah.
So funny.
That's picking Alice up. Don't call me Marie Antoinette.
Capizzi no or Capizzi yes. So on the leaderboard at the moment, we have Mitch Christie at the top on 6.5 points. What is the cost of a single Capizio Teletone tap? Your other tap
I want to
fell
say
off.
10 because that's like robbery if it's anything higher, but it's probably 20.
Okay, the answer is 20. What is the name of this new age competition lyrical shoe?
Eclipse. I've heard that word around the studio. Is
Yeah,
that right?
great. That's it.
This was the dream as a kid, to be honest. I was like begging my mum for 3 years for these, and I look at them,
I
I'm
know,
like,
I never got them either.
it looks like an ear.
Can you still purchase these guys at Block?
Sure. Yeah.
No, you're incorrect.
That's really sad.
I know. What the
See ya.
is this? Bonus points if you can guess the name.
Can you bang your point shoe with it?
Someone else gave that answer. Okay, no. It's a hairbrush. It's a hairbrush.
Hairbrush?
Right?
For what? That is not a hairbrush.
I guess
It's got like 4 bristles and they look like it's for your leg hair.
And I guess there's no suede on the... And I guess it's called the Suede Kiss. So it's a brush for suede. So in fact, it's for a point shoe. Can somebody tell me maintaining the suede bottoms of my ballroom shoes? So maybe, I can give you that point for the point shoe underneath.
I think your lack of knowledge should give you one.
Which dancewear brand sells the Dream Dance Company?
Energetics. And I worked for them. We got
Oh,
sponsored
you worked for them. Wow.
For like Dream Dance, we got sponsored by Energetics.
Is this a ballroom shoe or a character shoe?
Character.
Character, yes.
Wow.
What
Hello.
brand are these?
I'm going to say Capizio. What are they?
Like a streamlined clown sneaker?
Literally. You know that's called Guardian Walk or Galaxy Guardian Walk or something?
Okay.
That tune. It's a bit weird. Like, why would you have Guardians like walking out with their big thing on the moon and like it's a bit weird.
I guess it's only weird because we associate it with clowns. Because everyone plays it for clowns.
Yeah.
And maybe it's weirder that they play it for clowns. Can you buy these block booties with the Sydney skyline on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Oh wow. Shoes get uglier and uglier the more I look back. $39.95.
Wrong. They're actually $5. So they've kind of cottoned on, I guess.
Tans aren't clowns in.
True or false, Block now sells an extensive range of children's face masks.
Yeah.
You're
True.
right.
Oof.
What is the
Guys,
name?
That's an ear. If that's not an ear, I'm not Alice. Whoa. That is an ear. That's an ear. Oh my goodness, that is ugly. They don't have names like that.
I guess if you don't know it, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it.
It's called a Padini.
Do people know this?
Yeah, you hear it around the studios as much as you hear eclipses, Padinis.
Do they wear them at the Stedfords now?
Yeah, for like lyrical. What's going to be the award?
A pair of
you think?
Eclipse.
Whoa, actually, I would love to give Mitch a pair of eclipses. Do you have any final words, Alice?
No. Thanks for having me. It's been lovely.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.